Mm. So Ganesh's doubt is here. We had given IP address earlier. I'll just say Control Z. You will understand. My journal program was like this. This is my connection string, which I pass while creating the connection object. While creating connection string, what I use is I use get connection method, which accepts 3 parameters. First one is the connection string. Second one is the username, and third one is the password.
Please, actually, me garlic.
So there's a disturbance, so I've just muted everyone. I'll just unmute one person. Yeah, Rishikesh, you are unmuted.
Hello. Yes,
Ah,
ma'am.
yes. So now here, as you all know, that connection string accepts, get connection method accepts 3 parameters. First one you can see enclosed in double quotes, separated by comma. This is a connection string. Normally it gets generated in the services. As last time I had shown you, we have to go to the services. In the database, you have to go to drivers, and here that connection string, when you say connect using, of course, Oracle thing I have to use, sorry. So here that connection string gets generated automatically, that you should copy. So that we have already copied. I hope you can see the wizard. Rishikesh, can you see this new connection window?
Yes, ma'am.
This customize connection, that option, whatever, wherever I'm displaying this JDBC URL, you can see, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, okay. So this you have to copy, then now I'll cancel, and then here you have to paste it. But this was what exists just now, I mean right now, that is from the last year's printout, which remained like that. Yeah, I didn't copy that correctly. Paste it. This is the connection string you have to paste. Then username here, and the third parameter is password. So Ganesh's doubt was how this IP address got generated. You can replace it with that IP address, or else better to be on the safer side, whatever connection string gets generated there in the services connection thing and new connection dialog box, better paste like that only. Don't try to change. Now once it is done, last time, why I'm repeating this is, one, because he had doubt. Second is, when I executed this program, journal program, this journal program, just to recollect, I mean to remind you, that this program opens one swing window, and that in that swing window we have two text fields. One asks for the student name, and second is for the phone number. If the user is supposed to enter any one of the field, that either he has to enter student's name and then click on retrieve, automatically the phone number will be retrieved, or else in the other way, if the user enters student's phone number, that is in the second text field, and clicks on retrieve, automatically name will be retrieved. Of course, it doesn't get retrieved in the text field, it gets retrieved here in the output box. What happened last time, I executed and then that swing window was visible to me, but I assumed that it will be visible to you. But then I realized later when I saw recording that the window was not visible to you. So I thought of repeating just the execution part today, because explanation I have already finished last time. So now I will just execute. When I say execute or when I run it, I am here able to see the execution window, that is a frame, but you will not be able to see because of the zoom setting. I will have to share that window to you. So I'm sharing. Yeah, now you can see.
Yes, ma'am.
Now this is the output what I mean the window gets generated. Now because I have given flow layout, here this enter phone number has come here. I can just reduce the size so that enter name, the text field is there, enter phone number, the text field is there. You have to enter any one of the value. Right now we have kept it free for the user as per our journal statement. So as you all know, in our student table, I had Ram, Sham, Rita, Geeta, and one more name. So I remember Ram. I have entered Ram in the first text field. I click on retrieve. The moment I click on retrieve, the output will be shown in the output space in my NetBeans window. So again, I'll have to share that because Zoom doesn't show two windows at a time. So what I will do, as I have entered RAM and I click on retrieve, the output has come, but for that I will just say new share again. I'll take you back to the NetBeans. Can you see here? It has displayed the name
Yes, ma'am.
as well as phone number of RAM. Clear? That is because we have tried to select, we have given select star from student where name equal to t1.setText. That is from the text box, first text box, whatever name has come, that we have tried to substitute, and then we have tried to retrieve the relevant phone number. This is one type of execution. Now what I will do is I will execute it again and I will show you entering the phone number. So I will just say run file. Again, I'll have to share. Now again, this swing window has appeared. I will just enter the phone number now. I click on retrieve. Now the name has to be retrieved. So it has already retrieved. Again, I'll have to share the NetBeans window. Yeah, you can see here the name of Ram is retrieved when I have given the phone number. Now what will happen if I give some name which doesn't exist? Then I have to handle the exception properly, but I may get some message. Yeah, whatever I have given in the catch block. What I have given in the catch block, can you see a NetBeans window? If any exception
Yes.
occurs, what I have given in the catch window, nothing. So if I enter any other name or phone number, nothing will appear. It will just be blank. Fine. If we want any message to be given that the data doesn't exist and all, we can type here system.out.println. So anyways, I will skip that showing execution part today because you can try it yourself. Is it clear? Shall we move ahead with the next? Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
Our next journal program is similar, but it has got one new concept. So let us first learn that concept that I have already given in the write-up. So I will just share that window to you. Yeah, I hope you all have written this. No, I don't remember. I had sent it through Aditi. Once I approve, I had told her to forward, but I don't remember whether I've approved it. Yeah, this is journal 6th programs write-up. Now, our 6th program is related to hash table. So let us know what is the concept of hash table first. So hash table is nothing but one of Java's pattern to store values. So let us see here. Let us know about the hashing technique. So all of you have your phones, right? In your phone, you have your contact list. How do you search your contact
Yes.
list? Once you type a name, automatically the phone number appears, isn't it? Uh, or
Yeah.
sometimes you also search by the phone number. Now, hashing, this was originated from the hashing technique. Uh, Originally, when the data was stored in the file, it was stored based on the record pointer, that is 1, 2, 3, 4. It was stored in a sequence. It was also searched in a sequence, which took long time to find or jump to a particular record. But hashing is one such techniques in which indexing was followed and all. Let me not go into the details of it. Actually, in theory, you don't have this hashing technique, but in one of the journal program, they have told you to use hashing. So whatever minimum knowledge is required for the journal program, that I have included in the write-up. Of course, in the theory exam, they will not ask you about this, but in the Viva, they may ask you, and you should also know what is being executed. So let us know hashing technique. Hashing is a storage technique, first of all. How do you store the value so that it should be retrieved properly, easily? So this is what is nothing but the hashing technique. So hashing is a technique that is used to uniquely identify a specific object from a group of similar objects. In the sense, definitely, it is just a textbook definition, but hashing is a storage technique in which we can find a value when we enter some kind of key. Like for example, when we enter name, automatically the phone number can be retrieved. So here the example is given. In university, each student is assigned a unique roll number. So when the roll number is given, automatically you can find out the details of a student. Similarly, in library, whenever a new book appears or comes to the library, that each book has got given some number. So whenever that barcode number, as you all know, in our library also, they read that barcode number from the book, and automatically you can understand where is that book, in which shelf, or who has issued that book. All this information you can get. So here you can understand that the unique number or the barcode number is nothing but the key value, and which is key, and which has an associated value. So let us know how uh, this hashing technique is used in a table. So wherever the data is stored using the hashing technique, that kind of table is called as hash table. So how is hash table defined? Hash table is defined like that it stores the key value pair. So always hash table stores the values which are associated or linked to a particular key. uh, the value is searched by the key value. Always, whenever the key is given, you can search the related value associated with that. So you can consider this to be something like this. Um, yeah, here you have some kind of, and then you have, so here you can say, um, yeah, here is somewhere you will store the key and it will have a value associated. So whenever I give a key, automatically it will retrieve the related value only. It will not get confused. It will not, what you can say, fetch the other value. So each key uniquely identifies a particular value. You can consider it to be a primary key kind of thing. Anyways, so let us understand. So the hash table stores like that. So what is hash table? Hash table is a class in Java's util package. As you all know that all utility related classes are stored in Java's util package. So hash table is also a class in java.util package. So in case you have to use hash table technique, you have to import java.util package. Now how to create a hash table. So this is the syntax to create a hash table. Now hash table, you have to give as it is the syntax. In the angular bracket, you have to type string comma string. What does the string comma string indicate? This is the key and this is the value. By default, hash table will have a data type. Both key and value are stored as the string values. So both are stored as string values. Can you see the syntax here? Hash table, string comma string. Now followed by the name of the hash table. What is the name of the hash table I want to give? HT, for example. You can give any name.
HT.
Now again, equals to, I'm creating a new hash table. So I'm creating object of the hash table class. So as usual, our syntax is like this: new hash table, and again the same syntax, string comma string. But here I have to give, because when I create an object, I have to call a constructor. So new hash table, and then I have to give this open and close round bracket. Clear? So this is the syntax to create a hash table. You have to remember as it is, and you have to type in the program like that only. Now let us know what are the methods of the hash table which we may use. One method is put. Put is a method which accepts two parameters. First parameter is the key and second parameter is the value. Put method is used to put the specified value, specified in the sense whatever key and value we type inside the parameter, those values will be stored in our hash table. So we have to say ht dot put. So that means ht is a hash table in which we are putting the value. Which value we are putting? Whatever value I may pass. Suppose I pass the key as 1 and the value as gcc. Then in my hash table, I am going to put the value 1 comma gcc. Clear? So remember that always this cannot be altered. In hash table, there is some disturbance. I think, is it from the Rishikesh or any other? Yeah, anyways. So put is the first method in which key value pair I should pass, and always the first value which I pass, the first parameter which I pass will be considered to be a key, and second parameter will be considered as value. You can't interchange that. At least I have tried right now. It doesn't work. Always you should give first value as key and second as value. Now put will be used to put the value. Second method is contains. Contains method returns a boolean value, true or false. So contains will check whether the given value exists in my hash table. If it exists, I may get true. If the value doesn't exist, I will get the output as false. So contains method will check for the returns true if the specified value exists in the hash table. Second, the similar method is there. I can check whether the specified key exists in my table. Now contains key will check whatever key I'll pass, it will check whether that key exists and it will return true or false. Did you understand both these methods? Contains and contains key are the same method, similar methods, which are going to find whether the value contains will check whether the specified value exists in the table, and contains key will check whether the specified key exists in the table. Now the fourth method is get. Get method is used to retrieve. As put method is used to put or write to the hash table, get method is used to read from the hash table. So while reading, if I want to know the value which is related to a specified key, for example, suppose my code for VK, my code is BCA03. So, and suppose this is the codes are given like this. I'm just giving you examples. BCA01 is the code of Venugopal sir. So I say BJ. And then BCA02, it is given to Asmita madam, suppose. Then BCA03, suppose it is my code. Now this is first values are keys and second values are values, you can say. So if I want to know, if I want to retrieve my name, then how should I give? I should say, suppose this entire table is a hash table whose name is ht. I should say ht.get and I should pass this key. What is the key value I have to pass? BCA03. When I pass this key value, I will get the value associated with my key. Are you getting? The moment I give first then I will get the related second value. Clear? Yeah. So if I pass some number like BCA04, which doesn't have any associated value, that key only doesn't exist, then it will return null value. Clear? So this is how hash table works. Now based on this, let us understand our journal program. So I will take you back to the NetBeans wherein I have executed that program. So here is, it is the same program. Our statement is like this. They have told us to store the value in a hash table, and they have told us to create employee table with again the same fields, name and phone number, and it should function same, but it should store in hash table. If I give name, it should retrieve the phone number. If I give phone number, it should retrieve the name, same like our previous journal program. So both the journal programs are similar except for just usage of the hash table. So let us know in this program how we have made use of hash table. So before that, let me tell you that I have already created employee table. So I'll share this SQL with you. See here, I have already created employee table, and then I have shown you the records. Select star from employees. I have Ram, Sham, Geeta, Rita, Rucha. Same table I have created. Same records I have inserted, only the table name is employee. Now let me take you back to the NetBeans. So here also what I have done is the logic is same. I have created one swing, that is frame. In that frame I have two text fields, two labels and button. So the output is going to look similar, that it is going to ask for the name and phone number. Working also will be similar, but internal logic little bit it is different, that here we have stored, we have after retrieving it from the database, that is after retrieving it from the employee table, we are going to store it into the hash table, and then from the hash table we have to show the value. So how to do that? For that I will have to use AWT package because I am using JFrame. Then AWT event because I'm using button click event, that is action performed. Then I'm using JavaX Swing because I'm using, here because I'm using JFrame, I'm using JavaX Swing. AWT is used for, top level container. Then I'm using here, Swing because all the Swing components are there, JLabel, JTextField, etc. SQL I must use because I have to execute SQL statements, Java database connectivity. Then because I'm using hash table, I have to import java.util package. Okay, let's go ahead with the program. Here my class name is hash demo, which extends JFrame and implements action listener, because here also we are using button click. Designing part I will quickly finish. I have created two labels, declared two labels, declared two text fields, and declared one button. Then this is the constructor in which I have initialized the label as enter name, then initialize text field, then initialize label to as enter phone number, then initialize the text field. I have set the layout as flow layout. Then I have added all those components in sequence, label, text field, label 2, text field 2. Then I have declared or initialized the button as the label retrieve, as with the text retrieve. Then I've added the button. I've registered button with action listener. I've set the size for the frame. Then I have made the frame visible. These two are required, otherwise your frame will not be visible. Now, let me take you to the main method. As same like previous program, we have main method. First step of our database connectivity is that we have to load the driver. Since we are connecting it to Oracle database, we have to use class.forName and then this same loading driver string. This is exactly what you have to type. Then I give a call to the constructor, and then this constructor is nothing but this hash demo, which will finish the designing part, what I just explained. Then when the user will enter phone number or name and click on the button retrieve, where will the control go? It will go to the action performed. Now in the action performed, what I have done, the same steps of database connectivity. First step of loading the driver is done in the main method. Second step is creating connection object. I have again used the same driver manager dot get connection. I have passed connection string here. Then I have passed username password. Then I have created a normal statement object here, not the prepared statement. This is one again difference of the previous, but I have already explained you statement. Now just to differentiate, for the student table we are using prepared statement, and for employee table, that is the 6th general program, we are using normal statement object. So I've used statement s equal to connection object dot create statement. Then I say result set rs equal to s dot execute query. I am using select star from employee. So whatever records I will fetch from the employee table, they all will come and get stored in the result set by name rs. Now next step what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a hash table with the same line what I explained above. So I've created hash table by name ht. Right now hash table is blank. I want to show it to the user that the table is blank. So I put this line here, contents of the hash table before loading the data. How to display the values of the hash table? It is very easy. You just have to type hash table name ht. All the values will get displayed as the key value pair. Fine, it will get stored, displayed. Now next, right now the hash table is blank, but how will I load or how will I put the values in the hash table? Right now my values are there in the result set rs. So from rs, I'm going to put the values into ht, that is hash table. I have to put record by record, line by line. So I use while loop here. Again the same loop, that is condition rs dot next. So till all the records are over, it will iterate one by one. Then each record I'm going to put like this. I will say ht dot put. Ht is the hash table, put is the method. I have opened a round bracket. Now two values I am putting. As you know that put method accepts two parameters. First parameter is the key, second parameter is the value. So in this case, name I'm going to consider as the key and phone number I'm going to consider as the value. So when I say rs dot get string 1, now name and phone number both are of the type varchar, so I have to use get string only. So from the result set, first column is name. So I say get string. That name will be considered as key and it will be put in the hash table. Second column, that is rs dot get string 2, that is the phone number. It will get retrieved and it will get stored in the hash table as the value. So this is the key and this is the value. Like this, it will get stored in the hash table, all the records. After that, I have to display the contents of the hash table. Same contents of the hash table after loading the data. I'll say ht. So I have displayed all the records, whether my hash table contains all the records. Then further, I'm going to check whatever is the value passed by the user. For example, when at the time of execution, I will display a frame. In that frame, it will ask me to enter either name of the employee or the phone number of the employee. When user will enter, now in this case, user must enter the name, and based on the name, I will fetch the phone number of the employee. So when the user will enter name in the t1 dot text, that is in the first text field, how will I get its value? T1 dot get text. Now that value in the first text field is nothing but my key. Do you understand that? Name is the key and phone number is the value. So when I say, if I want to know whether that specified key exists in my hash table, I make use of a method called as contains key. So ht dot contains key, and when I pass the key, where will the key come from? The key will come from the first text field. So that key is nothing but the name. Are you getting that? The name of the user. For example, okay, let me show you the journal program. So here you can see This is going to be the interface. This is the key and this is the value. So when the user will provide the key, that is nothing but the name, the associated phone number must be retrieved. So for that we have typed the program. So here you can see that from the first text field the key will come. First I will check whether that key exists with this condition ht.contains key. If I pass proper key value which exists in my table, for example, if I pass Ram, it will return true because that key exists. If I pass something called as Govind, which doesn't exist, so this will contains key method, in that case it will return false. But anyway, let us assume that I have entered the name as Ram. So Ram, does it contain? Yes. So because it contains, now what I'm going to display here, I'm going to display Ram's phone number. So how will I fetch the value? First I will display search value exists, and then I will say which is that value which is given by the user, that is key given by the user, T1. So Ram is the key given by the user. How will I fetch the associated phone number of Ram? So for that, as you all know that I have explained you the method of the hash table called as get. Get method accepts the key value and it gives us the value associated with it. So I have told you get method here. Get method accepts key and it will return what? It will give me the value. So when I'll say Ram, Ram is the key and Ram's phone number is nothing but the value. So here you can say when I say get, and I will pass the value from the first text field, that is t1.getText, it is nothing but the Ram. Ram will be passed and this get method will retrieve its phone number. So when I say t1.getText, Ram's name will be displayed here and ht.get will display Ram's phone number here. So now that will execute only when the Ram exists there. If I pass Govind, it doesn't exist, so it will go to the else part and I will get a message that search value does not exist. So after I execute this program, again I have closed all the things, that is result set I have closed, statement object I have closed, and connection object I have closed. And then try catch as usual I have to show. So I will just execute this. Execution part will be same. So as you all know that, can you see the swing frame here? Yeah, so this is the frame which will be displayed as the output. I must give key here because I can't give phone number and find the name. For that I will have to make changes that I will tell you if time permits today or in the next class. So now I'm entering Ram. I will retrieve Ram's phone number which has come in the output window. So for that I'll have to share you back NetBeans screen. So you can see here Ram's content. Yeah, let us understand the entire output. So as you can see, first I had displayed contents of the hash table before loading the data. Always remember the hash table contents are displayed in a flower bracket. So can you see here the pair of empty flower brackets? Because this message I am displaying before I have loaded the values into the hash table. So the hash table is blank. Then after I have loaded all the values in the hash table, I have first displayed here that contents of the hash table after loading the data. See how hash table stores key value pair. It stores like this: key value, key value, key value. So you might think that Ram's name was first, but how it has taken Sham. So it is how hash table fetches. So we don't have control over in what sequence it takes. So it has taken like this. Fine. So it has stored all the values and it has displayed the entire hash table. Then next, when I said if the given key exists, I have given a message search value exists, and in my text field I have entered Ram, so Ram's phone number is retrieved here. Is it clear? Are you able to see the screen here? Okay, now what I will do is, last minute is there. Rishikesh, can you unmute? Or any one student, can you unmute? Is it clear to you?